Slowing down, it's the perfect time to be transformed. I'm Mike Morrison with 2 minutes of insight and inspiration. Welcome to 2 Minute Transformation. Paul masterfully writes an appeal to the church in Galatia and calls them out. It seems when they first became believers, they were fired up and growing in Christ. They were flourishing and enjoying the blessings that were coming, but then the newness wore off, the false teachers crept in, and apathy began to spread. Pretty soon they were just another community organization going through the motions and keeping the law. Paul goes back to the foundations and begins to chip away at the false teaching, laying again the building blocks of the faith. He boldly confronts them in chapter 5 of Galatians and exposes full on the darkness that has wormed its way into the church and is presently holding them back from being all God has called them to be. Paul writes in verses 7 and 8 from the NLT, "You were running the race so well. Who has held you back from following the truth? It certainly isn't God, for He is the one who called you to freedom." So let me ask you right now, how are you running? The Christian experience is not a sprint, friends. It's a marathon. I'm told a marathon requires a strong, consistent pace. Does that describe your race? I know many people who started out strong but have found themselves running out of gas. If that sounds more like your race, then you need to ask yourself some basic questions. Where did I slow down? Who's holding me back? Hey, it's always good to recognize the conditions of your setback. You can apply a little wisdom in the future and handle the obstacles differently on the next lap. But much more important, you must contend with who is holding you back. Paul says here, it certainly isn't God. God has called you to be more than a conqueror, to always abound in His work, to fight the good fight and always press toward the mark. If there is any hindrance, if there is anything holding you back, it must be someone or something that does not want you to finish. By whatever means, whether it be priorities, circumstances, or other people, our enemy wants us to get out of the race. Don't let satanic hurdles trip you up. Keep running, friends, and be transformed.